This is a public service announcement.
What is fentanyl and why you should be worried? Fentanyl is a synthetic opioid drug typically prescribed to treat severe pain or can be used to treat patients with chronic pain but who are physically tolerant to other opioids. Prescription names for fentanyl include Actic, Duragesic, and Sublimize. Fentanyl is similar to heroin or morphine, but is 50 to 100 times stronger. Fentanyl is 1,000 times smaller than the amount of powder found in an average MDMA capsule. Anyone who touches or inhales serious amounts of fentanyl can become very ill and can often lead to death. At least 2,458 Canadians have died from opioid-related overdose in 2016 and has become a very severe drug epidemic in Canada and across North America. Contaminated street drugs contribute to about 30% of opioid-related overdoses in Ontario alone. Fentanyl has also been found in cocaine, ecstasy, heroin, meth, speed, OxyContin, etc. How does fentanyl affect your body and your brain? Opioid receptors are found in areas of the brain that control pain and emotion. Fentanyl binds to these opioid receptors in the brain that cause an increase in dopamine levels in the brain's reward areas, producing a state of euphoria and relaxation. Opioid receptors can be found in areas of the brain that control breathing. High doses of fentanyl can cause you to stop breathing altogether, also known as respiratory depression. The effects of fentanyl on the body include euphoria, drowsiness, confusing, constipation, blurred vision, chest pain, convulsions, coughing, fainting, fever or chills, loss of appetite, mood changes, muscle pain or cramps, nausea, vomiting, meiosis, which is constriction of the pupils, numbness or tingling in the hands and feet, pale skin, sneezing, sore throat, sunken eyes, swelling in the hands, feet, or ankles or lower legs, ulcers in the mouth, tightness in the chest, and unusual bleeding or bruising. Now that we know a little bit more about what fentanyl is and what it can do to your body and mind, what can be done to prevent overdose? First off, test your substances. Test kits may be found at some local health clinics or online. It is vital to test your drugs. As a Toronto Rave Information Project would say, know your body, know your mind, and know your source. These three things are very important to remember. Know your limits and know what your body can take. What is your tolerance like? Know your mind. Is your mind in a stable place right now? Do you feel that by consuming substances it will worsen your state of mind? Lastly, trust your source. Know what substance you are using and the effects of the substance. Before doing any drug, make sure to do some research and make sure to just know basic knowledge about what it can do. If using, it's better to start with small doses. Filter and dissolve in water, preferably distilled, and distributing the opioid evenly. Use a needle to draw the liquid through a filter to remove any unwanted particles. There are other ways of consuming substances that can include fentanyl. Anything from ingesting, injecting, snorting, also known as railing, pooping, you name it. Another tip that comes in handy is to get an naloxone kit and train. They should be provided at any pharmacy in Ontario or in Canada, typically at Shoppers Drug Mart, and it is for free. What is naloxone? Naloxone is an antidote used to prevent overdose for any kind of opioid drug. And lastly, party with a friend. If using any substances, make sure to have a trusted friend who will respond to any emergency situation and will guide you effectively. Sometimes injection sites may be available, but just know that you are not always alone. Don't be afraid to reach out to family, friends, trusted peers, acquaintances, and hey, you can always come to me for any advice or help. I'm always here. Message me. But just remember to stay safe out there. 3 tips: know your body, know your mind, know your source, test your drugs, naloxone kit, and you will be fine. Be safe.